Hello and welcome to Lancaster Safety's Webinar Wednesday. We are a full-service nationwide OSHA compliant firm specializing in helping to keep employees safe on the job. We provide safety and health training, custom written programs, as well as hazard assessments and on-site audits. Our consultants also assist clients in their OSHA inspections. Today we're going to be discussing some important elements of developing a safety program. Now, whether you already have a sturdy program in place or you're a new business in the process of getting off the ground, we're here to help you. Our consulting firm believes in taking safety beyond the standard, and so this webinar is geared towards all levels of safety programs. I'm joined today by Emily. Emily, thanks for being here with us. How are you today?
Good, Marcy. Thank you.
Great. So our goal today is to enlighten you with key elements developing your program. So Emily, let's get started.
All right, we're going to dive right in. So we're going to begin with some helpful tips on where to begin in setting up or improving your company's current safety program. We'll discuss what OSHA laws are applicable to your business because we understand that can be pretty confusing. We'll talk about setting up realistic expectations and goals for your company, also what safety and health training is needed. And then lastly, we'll talk about what maintaining a safety program even looks like, because sometimes people think, okay, well, I have it in place, I'm done, right? And that's really not the case. So we're going to go into all of that in this webinar.
All right, sounds good, Emily. So starting a safety program, we know it can seem extremely intimidating and sometimes even discouraging. However, even the thought of starting one already puts you on the path to success. So we're going to start this process from the very beginning. And what does that begin with, Emily?
Well, you have to set a safety mindset, really. And there's three things that can help you do that. And the first one, obviously, is that safety has to be a priority at every workplace. Keep it on your to-do list every day so that it becomes more of a habit that you don't even think about. You want to build a strong safety culture within your business and one that conveys your intention to keep employees safe. And we actually have an entire webinar about this topic that our president talks about because a full commitment to safety is necessary from everyone in the company. And then lastly, too, employers have a legal obligation to keep employees safe, but the reason behind these laws is because you want to keep your employees safe.
Okay, all good points, Emily. So everyone listening today is going to be at different phases in the safety program process. We know that. And some of you may be experienced safety professionals already, just looking to improve your current program. And some of you may have just had a recent OSHA inspection. And others, you might be looking to understand what the minimum safety program requirements are. So either way, we're going to hit on the highlights today and encourage anyone that has questions to either contact us. And our number is 888-403-6026. Or you can send us a message. So to start things off, Emily, what is the first step that you would recommend to a company that is just beginning to build their safety program?
Well, first, I would definitely commend them for even wanting to get a safety program started because that means they know how important it is. So the first step that we talk about with anyone is just doing your research, understanding what's out there, what resources are available, and where you can find help. And, attending this webinar is really a good way to start. You'll obviously want to determine your budget too and what that looks like for your company with safety, and this will help you determine if you're looking at either completing OSHA compliance on your own or hiring a third-party safety consulting company like LSCI or hiring someone in-house, but we actually have clients that do both. And so all of these starting points are really good pieces of advice, but the most important one really is that the owners are making a commitment to safety. And so again, we've conducted several webinars regarding this topic alone because we do know how difficult it can be for safety professionals to convince top management just to invest in safety. And so an adverse effect then is when business owners are ready to commit to safety, but they have a hard time getting their employees to follow the rules. So we understand that there's a lot of obstacles here. We get it. And in order for a safety program to succeed, a company has to have full commitment from everyone. And like we said, that includes management and employees.
Okay, thanks, Emily. All good points. So what we want to do is you want to first figure out what hazards exist in your workplace by conducting a safety audit. You're going to want to write down what types of hazards you see. So an example might be, are your machines guarded properly? Is there a machine that's currently undergoing maintenance? Is it locked and tagged out correctly? What are the potential hazards? If you see something, say something. If you can fix it right away, definitely do so. Take a walk through the facility or job site and think to yourself, what would OSHA say? So this is where it can be beneficial to bring a third party in to take a look. And of course, Lancaster Safety has consultants nationwide that even have previous experience working for OSHA. They're well trained to seek any hazards and properly fix them according to the applicable standard.
Right, and doing a safety assessment should always be an ongoing task too. It definitely shouldn't be a one and done type of thing. Even in an office setting, here at LSCI, we work in an office. We do this on a monthly basis or even more frequently if we are undergoing some changes. So you definitely want to be aware of that and aware of any new hazards that may be, upcoming, or, whatever the case may be. But even on construction sites or warehouses, you'll want to continually conduct hazard assessments and then make any necessary corrections or adjustments.
Okay, great. So it's important to know also that OSHA holds business owners accountable for their actions, even if the employer wasn't aware of a particular regulation. So it's imperative that business owners take the time and make sure that you're complying with all applicable OSHA laws. Now, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, is a division of the U.S. government, and it's devoted to keeping people safe on the job. One great place, OSHA.gov, definitely check it out. It's a great place to find all the compliance tools that you need. But we know it can be a little overwhelming to sort through things if you're not already a tenured safety professional. Plus, everyone's business is unique, and some OSHA laws will apply to one company but not the next. So, Emily, is there anywhere that people can go to help determine what OSHA laws are applicable to their company?
Yeah, like you said, OSHA does have online tools that will help companies begin to sort through, what applicable laws there are. But again, we know it's overwhelming, it's confusing, and Lancaster Safety is really just a free consultation away. We can help you compare what OSHA laws are applicable to you by asking workplace-specific questions and then evaluating what needs you have. We've been in business since 2004, and we've come up with simplified checklists, tools, and training guides that can save companies a ton of time and money. And we're going to be giving some of those away today as well.
All right, great. So as safety and health professionals, we often get asked the question, do OSHA laws apply to my business? So we designed this simple flow chart you see on your screen now in order to help companies determine if they are exempt or not.
Right, and if you take a quick look at it, I'm willing to bet the chances are pretty high that your company does need to comply with OSHA's rules and regulations, because there actually are pretty few exemptions. But just to clarify, this flowchart is talking about if OSHA regulations as a whole apply to your business, not just specific OSHA regulations like record keeping, because we all know that one comes with its own sets of rules and exemptions. So this is one of the free downloads that everyone attending today will receive, and you can actually take a quiz on our website as well. And just a quick note, OSHA does not cover self-employed persons, farms which employ only immediate members of the farmer's family, any working conditions for which other federal agencies operating under the authority of other federal laws regulate worker safety. This category actually includes most working conditions in mining or nuclear energy, and then nuclear weapons manufacturing, and many aspects of the transportation industries as well. And then lastly, employees of state and local governments, unless they're in one of the states operating an OSHA-approved state plan. So we know that's a lot. If you have any questions, definitely give us a call.
Okay, great. Thanks, Emily. So on this screen, you can see that there are many types of industries that are covered by OSHA. Of course, we expect construction and oil and gas are covered, but remember that even office and medical businesses fall under OSHA. So if you don't see your industry on this page, that doesn't necessarily mean that OSHA doesn't cover your business. So please do give us a call, and we can conduct a free, no obligation consultation. Let me give you that number again. It is 888-403-6026.
Okay, Marcy, so we know that we've given out a lot of information already. So let's go ahead and take a break for a quick Insta Safety poll question. So this is just a simple true or false, and the statement is that companies that existed before OSHA was founded are grandfathered in and are exempt from having to comply with OSHA's laws. So is that true or is that false? And the answer is actually false. We've spoken to a lot of companies that were unsure whether OSHA laws apply to them simply because their business existed before the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970. But even businesses that existed before that need to comply with the rules and regulations.
Okay, great. So what we want to do now is talk about where to find the applicable OSHA laws. So here's the first law every business owner should know, and that's that OSHA's General Duty Clause. This is OSHA's go-to rule, and it applies to the companies in general industry, construction, oil, gas, healthcare offices, and more. So it reads like this. Under the provisions of the Occupational Safety and Health Act of 1970, OSHA Act, employers must provide a workplace free from recognized hazards that are causing or are likely to cause death or serious physical harm to employees, regardless of the size of the business. Employers must comply with OSHA standards under the OSHA Act. All other laws fall under this clause. So simply put, employers, you have a legal obligation to provide a safe workplace.
All right, so that brings us to another Insta Safety poll question. A company that was cited by Osha was unaware of the laws relating to a citation they received. They were not intentionally disobeying the law, they just didn't know about it. So can Osha still fine them? And the answer to that one is actually yes. OSHA holds business owners accountable for their actions, even if the employer wasn't aware of a particular regulation. So the scenario is kind of similar to getting pulled over by a police officer for speeding and getting a ticket, even though you didn't see the new speed limit sign.
Okay, very good. So remember that even in our personal lives, we try to set goals for ourselves. So we have to remember to make them attainable and realistic. Setting safety goals works the same way. You want to set small, achievable goals, and this leads to bigger and more thorough goals.
Right, and like Marcy said, we do like to set personal goals, whether it's at the beginning of the year, new resolutions, things like that, but it's really important to set realistic goals for your workplace as well. So throughout the year, you're going to want to check in on your goals as well. You can ask yourself, what did you want to accomplish this year? Have you made accessible progress on your goals? Have you accomplished any of what you wanted to accomplish already? Did you surpass the goals, or is the goal that you set not even achievable? So when you don't accomplish your goals, there has to be a reason why. And two of the biggest explanations are actually that you may not be prioritizing your goals appropriately, or you're not setting realistic ones for yourself. So if priority was the issue, you do need to understand how to bump it up on your list. You can create a plan that will increase your progress working towards your goals while, not losing sight of other priorities. It does take more than a plan to get back on the path to achieving your goals. It has to take action. So remind yourself to check in with goals more frequently so you don't fall too far off track.
Yeah, good point, Emily. If you found that your goals may have been unrealistic, you definitely may need to set new goals. Maybe at the beginning of the year you had high hopes. That's good. But now it's halfway through the year and you realize your goals are infeasible. So it's not an issue. You definitely have time to achieve and develop new goals. You had 6 months to find out where the bar is set. Now you can set a more realistic goal for yourself that will help you to strive to improve. So don't let your failure to reach your previous goal discourage you from trying to raise that bar.
That's great. This is all really encouraging. Now, I do want to mention that a goal shouldn't be that you can create a program overnight, because that's not realistic, and that shouldn't be how it goes. So, just like losing weight, there's really no miracle solution out there. And developing a successful safety program takes time, it takes effort, but you have so many resources available to make this process so much more simple. There are no cliff notes for safety program development. You have to have programs customized to your workplace. And even online solutions that offer fast programs or fast training, it might not provide your company with the compliance that OSHA actually requires.
Right. So, and accidents, they happen. What happens if you do have an accident? Well, they're not planned. Having a zero accident goal can sometimes be discouraging because if there is any accident, then the whole company can feel like they failed. So try setting your goals based off the previous year's injury and illness log. So for example, if you study that log and you notice a pattern, set a goal based off of that.
Right, that's a really good idea too. And we have clients talk to us all the time, especially at the beginning of the year. What goals can they set for themselves to set themselves up for success? So I actually took a minute to speak with some of our consultants before this webinar and just see what they're telling clients and good goals to set. So one of them was that making sure no one is left untrained for that year, and of course documenting all training, holding weekly or monthly safety meetings, even aside from your safety committee, ensuring again that they're recording trainings, any disciplinary actions, for not following safety rules. You could even conduct a certain number of surprise inspections. And then lastly, recognizing and rewarding safe behavior. And I think that's a really big one too. When somebody gets recognized for good behavior, it always just makes them feel good. And I think it encourages them to keep being safe and encouraging others to be safe as well.
Definitely, Emily, those are all really great tips. I think it's important to remember that safety is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. You want to continue to learn and evolve your safety program. That's the most important piece of making it successful. You're not ever going to hit the peak of perfect safety, and that's okay. You want to constantly improve and seek out potential hazards, and that's what will take you to the new level in safety. Maybe you're not sure where to start, but we can help. After our thorough consultation, we can find and we can fix any present hazards, and we can set up programs to help avoid those in the future. So another element of a successful program is consistent training. Make sure you keep up with new employees as well, and that not only improves safety, but it's going to improve your overall culture.
No, you're right, and that's something we're going to get into next. Looking at what safety and health training is even needed, and again, it can be very complicated or sometimes confusing because each workplace obviously is going to be different in regards to what's required.
Yeah, very true. And being compliant by maintaining proper training can seem like an overwhelming task. OSHA standards have varying training requirements across the board, so we thought we'd provide you with this helpful chart as a reference. You can see it lists some of the most common training topics, what is required, how frequently training might be needed. So please use it as a guide, but not as legal advice. You can go ahead and click on the picture on your screen to download this free guide.
Right, it's really helpful actually. I do want to explain real quick what the difference between initial and periodic means. So initial training must take place prior to the employee's initial exposure to the hazard itself. And this will likely take place at the time of assignment to a job or a task. But if employees ever rotate tasks or positions on the job, it's definitely crucial to ensure they're receiving proper training on any new tasks or responsibilities that they have. And then, of course, periodic training should be once a year or more frequently if it's necessary. So some of the topics like hazard communication, which of course is, going over chemicals, labeling, SDS logs, stuff like that. Ergonomics, which is, fitting the job task to the worker. PPE, personal protective equipment for any task. And that's in office settings too. And then lastly, emergency action plans. Those are all ones that you'll want to have annual training on.
All right, thanks for that review of the chart, Emily. So just like we discussed earlier in the webinar with OSHA regulations, which safety and health training each company needs to conduct is also going to be specific to your company's workplace. So we've had companies that call us and ask, we want to schedule an OSHA 10 or 30-hour training, and they did this because they thought it would allow them to comply with OSHA's training standards. Well, an OSHA 10 or 30 training, it's definitely a good idea, but it's not specifically required by OSHA. OSHA wants to see your training being conducted on your workplace hazards. So when Lancaster Safety conducts trainings, it's always based off custom-written safety and health programs that we've developed for that company's needs. So we can conduct the OSHA outreach trainings, but as consultants, it's our job to let the clients know their options. And this actually reminds me, Emily, of a valuable blog post I'd like to mention too. It lists certain states that do require an OSHA outreach training through their state's own OSHA-approved plan. State-run plans actually are separate from federal OSHA, and they tend to go beyond federal OSHA's rules and regulations.
Right, Marcy. So like you said, having the 10 and 30-hour class is a really good idea. It is important to note, though, the chart on the previous screen was for construction, and this one now that you see is for general industry, because obviously the topics vary a little bit, versus requirements and what they need for the 10 and 30-hour classes.
Okay, so this brings us to our next Insta Safety Poll question. And the question is, OSHA fines are tax deductible. True or false? Go ahead and select your response. And this one is actually false. We've actually had several clients and prospects call in assuming that their fines are tax deductible, but unfortunately they are not.
All right, very good. So another question that we get actually quite frequently, and it's something that we can personally speak on because we do work in an office setting. And so the question is, does an office staff need to sit in on safety and health training? And the answer is yes. And quite honestly, I really look forward to our safety training every year. We're lucky to have in-house trainers that do that for us. And some of the topics that we go over are hazard communication, which of course includes chemical labeling and SDS information, bloodborne pathogens, what do you do in case of a first aid incident, and how to treat bodily fluids. We must go over the emergency action plan, what to do in case of an emergency. We all have fire extinguisher training. We also talk about personal protective equipment, or PPE, how to wear proper protection for specific tasks that we're doing. We talk about slip, trips, and falls and general housekeeping, how can we stay protected against fall hazards. And then lastly, ergonomics, which like I said, is fitting the job to the worker and designing and arranging things that people use so that, the people and the things interact most efficiently and safely. So one obstacle that we talk with our clients about is how to set up their training. So, you can have all employees train on the topics that I just mentioned and then dismiss those employees that may not encounter the same hazards as the warehouse employee. So that's the way you can do it most efficiently.
All right, good advice on that. So bottom line is your safety program can always improve. And as safety evolves, so should your programs and your habits. So you want to make sure you're keeping up with the key elements that you see listed here, the retraining, evaluating standards, the safety culture, everything that you see listed here, you want to keep up with all of that. All right, so don't miss this one. Definitely write it down. The absolute basic concepts that you need to build an effective safety and health program are right here. Management, commitment, and employees' involvement is more important than you may think. Especially when management shows their dedication to safety, employees often follow suit because they feel cared for. They aren't just another salary to pay or another number on the staff chart.
Right, that's really, really important. And then along with that too is worksite safety analysis, as we mentioned. It's definitely a key factor to keep up on changes in the workplace and then track any trends. The next one's hazard prevention and control, and that goes hand in hand with keeping up with the safety audit. So knowing what hazards you face and what you can prevent will then inevitably take safety to a whole new level. Lastly, like we said, safety and health training. It doesn't only educate employees on how to remain safe daily, but it also gives them the tools to continue building upon their own safety habits. So, we often get asked the question, what is the #1 safety and health goal business owners should be prioritizing? So go ahead and check out this quick video for the answer.
Each day, we connect with people all over the United States in order to help workplaces become OSHA compliant. But is this really the ultimate goal? Well, no, it's one of our main goals, but our #1 goal is to help get each employee home safely from work every day. Our slogan, taking safety beyond the standard, means that we want more for our clients than just following OSHA's rules and regulations. We want them to work safely because they want to. We want to promote safety cultures and not doing the bare minimum. Safety takes work. Safety takes time. Achieving a safe workplace can be a challenge. A one-size safety program does not work for everyone, which is why we specialize in customizing services to fit our clients' needs. We pride ourselves on thinking beyond the standards and try to put ourselves in our clients' shoes. How can we improve our services for them? How can we help them even more? What are your safety goals? Call us today at 888-403-6026 for a complimentary phone consultation so we can discuss ways to take your company's safety program to the next level.
All right, so we're coming to an end here, Emily. Would you please give everyone a quick summary of the 5 things they'll need to develop or even refresh for their program?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first one is you'll want to invest wisely. Know where to look for and use the free resources that are available to aid your company in complying with OSHA requirements. 2, you can get a free phone consultation with us and have a consultant help you determine what OSHA laws are applicable to your business. And then, of course, once you have done that, you'll want to conduct safety and health training based off of your company's written programs. We talked earlier about maintenance and what that looks like. This looks like conducting safety and health hazards assessments on a regular basis, maintaining your written programs. If you have any changes, you want to update those as well. And then, of course, completing retraining or any new hire training. And lastly, setting realistic goals. And remember, safety is a journey. It really does not happen overnight.
All right, great tips, Emily. Thank you so much, and thank you for being with us today. We really hope this information has given you direction or even inspiration on getting your safety program on the right path. As always, if you need help, that's what we're here for. So please call us today. That number again is 888-403-6026. And as a thank you for joining us today, we've included these free downloads on your screen. We truly appreciate your time and hope you'll take advantage of our monthly safety and health webinars. Everyone's invited to attend and they're always free. So just visit our website for more information. Also, please follow us on social media for more news updates and safety information, or provide us with feedback on either Yelp, Google, or Facebook. Have a safe day.